Hey guys, well, welcome to another video. In this video, I wanted to talk about buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is a real thing. It happens after you make a big purchase. Example, a car or a house. I have felt this at different times in my life. One example is I leased a luxury car, and immediately after I did it, I felt buyer's remorse. Even after the purchase of my house and signing the agreement, there was an anxiety. And that's what buyer's remorse is. It's an anxiety about the level of commitment financially and emotionally that you are about to embark on. And so as I became middle-aged, I really was conscious of buyer's remorse, and I made mental notes in my mind of how painful it was after I made certain commitments that maybe were not the best. And so I went on a journey in my life to simplify my life, because how can you avoid or at least mitigate, lessen buyer's remorse? I mean, buy less stuff. The less stuff you buy, the less opportunity for buyer's remorse. And the simple life, however you're going to define it, it's different for everyone, I believe is wisdom. Again, I don't think everyone should be like me and live out of a car, live out of one bag. And I eventually may buy stuff. But right now, I'm kind of frozen in this state of simplicity because I don't want to feel buyer's remorse. I don't want to feel that anxiety. And anxiety is the right word to describe the emotion that is buyer's remorse. And it almost never leaves you, okay? Because when you buy something, it's not just the purchase price, it's the recurring cost, meaning the insurance, the car insurance, the home insurance, the maintenance, changing oil, changing tires, repairs, the maintenance of a house, plumbing, electrical, siding, property taxes, gas for a car. There's different costs associated with big purchases that are recurring. They happen usually on a monthly basis, that even when you pay for the item, the recurring costs that are associated with that item never end, and you feel like you're in a never-ending cycle of paying for something. But that being said, you need items in life. Most people need a car. Some people may live in a big city and just Uber around, but most people are going to need a car. Most people are going to need a home. And there's a level of anxiety being a nomad, because at night and after a period of time living on the road, you have a little bit of, there's a little anxiety that you never have a place to go back to that's your own. So it does play with your mind a little bit. I want to acknowledge that. So again, I can't endorse everyone living out of their car, but I can endorse that everyone should live as simple as possible to avoid buyer's remorse. So how can you avoid buyer's remorse? I mean, buying less stuff, number one. Number two, really consider if you can pay cash and if you should pay cash. Meaning that when you pay cash, I think you're going to have less buyer's remorse because you involve less people. You're not going to involve a bank. So you don't have to sign a bunch of documents, you don't have to pay interest, you don't have to be on the hook to someone. And even though you'll have recurring costs associated with the big purchase, you outright own it in the sense where you don't have a lien on it and you have to be subject to a third-party bank. Now should you always buy cash? I mean, not necessarily. You certainly want to have enough cash reserves that you don't wipe yourself out. There's certainly some value in having certain tax deductions and mitigating liability by using debt as a tool. But debt is very dangerous, and even when you get tax advantage, you're still outgoing more than you're getting back. So a tax deduction, you may get a percentage off you may save a percentage, but you're still spending a bigger percentage than you're saving. So there's no one answer, but I mean, the guiding answer is, I think when you pay cash, if you buy really simple, then obviously you're going to have less anxiety, period. But you also want to have enough cash reserves in place. And three is, if you're going to get a loan on a car or a house, like example, I got a loan on this car for 5 years when I bought it because it was zero interest. So I figured if it's zero interest, I'd rather keep a certain amount of cash on hand than pay up front. So I'm not saying that's always the best case, but I'm giving you examples, okay? So, and then even when you do need to get a loan, whether either you don't have the money or you don't want to deplete your cash, then you're going to have to remember to live below your means, and you're going to have to think worst case scenario if you lost your job, or if you had to liquidate something, how long does it take? And as you run through these scenarios, it helps you not eliminate but mitigate, lessen the opportunity for a level of buyer's remorse. Because again, it's almost like right now I am frozen in simplicity because I don't want to buy anything. I mean, I don't want to buy a home base because I just don't want the buyer's remorse. I mean, as soon as I visualize myself calling and making an offer on a home base, I have a level of buyer's remorse just visualizing it. And that's why I'm kind of frozen, so well, I'm not ready then. Now in life you have to push yourself. And again, there's value in a home base, there's value in a home, there's value in a car. So I can't say you can go your whole life without buying nothing, but I am saying that error on the side of caution. Meaning when in doubt, keep it simpler. When in doubt, keep it simpler, don't buy. Because when you buy big purchase items, your life and your time are now going to be dedicated to something else, and you're going to be on the hook to something, whether it's a bank, whether it's whatever it is, and you just want to be cautious because you want to live life more on your terms. You know, the minute you sign a loan, what you're doing is you're signing an obligation note. A loan is basically a note committing yourself to obligation, and you are going to be obligated under the terms of the people that you get a loan from. And so I think, you know, life is better lived when you live more on your terms. And you have less buyer's remorse. So I don't have all the answers. And again, I'm a little bit frozen myself at this point in life because I'm trying to think, is it good to get a home base, or is it best to just continue to live simple and pay as I go, meaning pay for campgrounds and not make any big purchases? I would almost lean on the side of buying an RV before a house because at least I stay mobile. But that's a depreciating asset, and a house is appreciating. So, you know, I accept all those things. But I think for many people, you're in no rush, especially if you're single, you're in no rush. You know, you do worry about long term. As you get older, you worry about, are you going to have a place to go? You know, if you live below your means and you have a level of cash, you should always be somewhat okay. You can never guard yourself against everything in life. But try to avoid buyer's remorse. Recap, how do you avoid it? Don't buy a lot of things, period. When you do buy things, make sure they're below your means, period. If you are buying something and it's below your means, think about if you should pay cash because there's less people involved, but also you don't want to deplete all your cash. You know, so sometimes a loan may make sense. Think it through. When in doubt, err on the side of caution. There's nothing perfect in life. I don't have the perfect answer. Sometimes you have to push yourself through a little discomfort. You know, over time, after you buy something, if you gain equity in it, the buyer's remorse does start to dissipate. So, you know, sometimes it's just the initial pain, but these are just some thoughts I want to share with you on life because it's a real thing. It's a real emotion. It's a real anxiety. And I take my emotional and mental health just as serious as my physical health. And anxiety is something that affects your emotional and mental health. So best of luck to you on all your purchases and all your big purchases. May you live below your means. May you make the best decision for you because we're all on our own unique journey. I want the best for everyone. I want everyone to live life as much as they can on their terms. I hope good things for you. I hope breaks come your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.